bitches when a boy win.
I know why. Well, because I'm an orthodontist, I've been doing this a long time and I've seen thousands of cases of braces. I can tell you exactly why you have a gap there towards the end of treatment, even though you're like, what? Well, kiss, I don't want my teeth to look like this. Don't worry about it. Because as an orthodont professional, there is different steps to what we're doing. The first step of braces is to level and align. You see, at this point, we're gonna be using different wires to move things up and down and in and out. These are circular little tiny wires that go into a rectangular slot. So think about it like this. It just kind of bounces around and moves, but it doesn't really do much. Okay, the next step is to do our torque, tip, and tilt. This is when you go to these rectangular wires. They're called 1425s or 1825s. They go in, and now you have a square wire in a square bracket that will actually tip, torque, and tilt that tooth. That is the next phase. And then when you get to a big enough wire, we can do what's called this space closing phase. Now, this is the point that you get the infamous power chains, and you've seen these before. Power chains are basically those linked colors that go all the way across that are attached to each other. If you look closely, she does not have power chains. She has just the simple O ties there, okay? And those just hold in the bracket if it's an old school wire, or the new school ones have doors. They don't use those little rubber bands, but either both use the same power chain when we're closing up space. So my guess is you've gone through the leveling and aligning, you're starting to go up into wires, and now you're going to go into power chain at your next appointment to start pulling that gap closed. Now there are times where we have to close all that space and then something happens. You break a bracket, a tooth moves and shifts or whatever, and then we got to go back down to that light wire. And so we have to get rid of that power chain in that area for whatever reason. Maybe it's your bite, maybe it's whatever. And so we have to go back down into that thin wire, and that thin wire cannot handle a power chain. If you put a power chain on a thin wire, that thing will make your teeth go like that. You need something strong enough to hold that in there, but your teeth have to be straight enough to handle the stiff wire. And so more than likely, you're just getting back up to that stiff wire again, then they can put the power chain on there, then they can close it up. Now that being said, please make sure you let your orthodontist know before they take anything off if you have any spaces anywhere, because once those braces and brackets are off, you cannot close that space anymore, and it's really difficult to fix from there other than just putting all the braces back on. But for a gap that big right in the front, trust me, we see it, we know what's going on, and we will be handling it at some point in the future before you get those braces off. I hope that helps.